A sad anniversary for Toledo Fire and Rescue. Today marks the 50th anniversary on the Anthony Wayne Trail fire. An emotional memorial service was held at the Toledo Firefighters Memorial to remember the 4 firefighters who were killed and 71 people injured when a tanker truck exploded, wiping out several homes. Several Toledo firefighters were injured and several suffered severe burns while responding to the massive fire that day. 17 of them are still alive. One of those surviving firefighters lived to have a long and fulfilling career as part of the Toledo Fire Department. And while his scars are still evident 50 years later, so is the memory of the blaze that almost took his life. Fox Toledo's Jennifer Steck caught up with Don Riddle this afternoon. She joins us live with his accounts of that day that changed his life forever.
Well, June 10th, 1961. It was just the 13th day on the line for Don Riddle. But as it turned out, it was the day he battled the biggest blaze of his entire career. Don Riddle has quite the collection of old firefighter trinkets, but the item he might be most proud of is his old helmet he wore every day for 26 years as a Toledo firefighter. It happens to be his second helmet. The first one was destroyed in the Anthony Wayne Trail fire 50 years ago.
I went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was my 13th day on the fire department. We approached a trail on Logan Street, and we were impressed with a huge ball of fire. We didn't have time to set up or anything. It was just too ferocious. Yeah, we got our hoses laid and just barely got the water started when it blew up in our faces.
Riddle would suffer from severe burns to his face and hands, spending 2 months in the hospital. But after 2 years, over 12 surgeries, and countless skin grafts later, Riddle returned to work.
I was off work for 2 years, and many skin grafts later. But I went back to work 2 years later, and worked for 28 years, and never had a scratch. Go figure.
Riddle would retire in 1989, but every June 10th, he takes a moment to remember that day and his 4 fellow firefighters who lost their lives at events like the memorial held today.
Try to remember something different every year if I can, what happened, and it's interesting. And of course I always remember the guys that died and say a little prayer for them and their families.
Well, now Riddle told me despite being so severely injured from the fire, returning to work was the best decision he ever made. Reporting tonight, Jennifer Steck, Fox Toledo News.